The OldPreMeds podcast, session number 175. You're a non-traditional student entering the medical field on your terms. You may have had some hiccups along the way, but now you're ready to change course and go back and serve others as a physician. This podcast is here to help answer your questions and help educate you on your non-traditional journey to becoming a physician. Welcome to the OldPreMeds podcast. My name is Dr. Ryan Gray, the host here at the OldPreMeds podcast, as well as many other podcasts on the MedEd Media Network. If you don't subscribe, you should. It's free and it's easy right in your podcast player of choice. If you're on an iOS device, you can use Apple Podcasts or my favorite, Overcast. If you're on an Android device, you can use Google Podcasts or Pocket Casts, or on either device, you can use Spotify. This week, as always, we take a question from the OldPreMeds forum over at premedforums.com. Here we have a question about aging out. Our user today says, I'm an older premed that, because of my age, mid-50s, family and friends, and even I, are worried that I will, quote, age out of being accepted to medical school. I also worry that being older will limit my choices for a medical residency. In order to rush my application, I've been taking a heavier post-bacc course load, but taking too many classes at once, volunteering, and working has made my GPA suffer. While most of my post-bacc grades have been A's, I got some B's. My original plan was to finish my post-bacc next fall, take the MCAT then, and apply for schools in June of 2020. But because of these B grades and some other issues, I would like to delay my application by 2 years and do the following. Take a break from post-bacc after this quarter ends in March, cut back on my volunteering. I already have lots of healthcare experience, see below. Work full-time again until fall to pare down some post-bacc related debt. My program is expensive and there's no financial aid. Finish my post-bacc by retaking those prerequisite courses in which I got B's. I want to get all A's in all of my AAMC prereqs. Yes, I know that all grades are reported and averaged. Finish the AAMC required courses and then take more upper division science classes to further improve my GPA. Finish studying for and take the MCAT. Maybe I can do this by fall, so I have to retake the MCAT again. So if I have to retake the MCAT again, I can do so in the spring of 2020. If I do well on the MCAT, but still have a borderline GPA, apply for an SMP at a university with a medical school. This will allow me to take classes alongside medical students to show that I can do well in medical school classes. I expect this plan to take 3 more years, which means that I will be in my late 50s when I apply to medical school. Can I still get in at that age? Already, in presenting my case to medical schools and pre-med advisors at pre-med conferences, I have gotten mixed advice. Some pre-med advisors have told me that being over 50 already made me too old and not to bother applying, especially because my academic record is very convoluted with some marginal grades and some W's. One medical school told me not to apply to them, but others, including some medical students, did not see any issues with me being older, but I was in my early 50s at that time. Furthermore, healthcare is not new to me. I already have significant healthcare experience working in healthcare and volunteering, including nearly 3 decades of continual healthcare volunteer work with the medically underserved. Can anyone offer advice on this plan and whether delaying my application is risky or not worth it in terms of making myself even older when I apply versus having a more competitive GPA? Wow. All right, so let's try to tackle these one by one. So, number one, it's impossible to answer this question because we don't have enough information. Right? What is the GPA that we're working with? Is it a 1.7 and you're worried about getting all A's? Or is it a 3.3 and you're worried about getting all A's? There's a huge difference there. What does that trend look like? What is the science GPA? What is the cumulative GPA? Just off the surface, like on the surface, I think pausing a post-bacc because you got some B's because you want all A's is a little bit too severe. To start thinking about an SMP because you have B's is a little bit too severe. Again, it's impossible to answer this question because we don't have the full picture. Okay. So in the future, if you're listening to this and you want to ask questions over at premedforums.com, then go and really give us a full picture. The problem with this thinking is that the thinking assumes that the admissions committee will look at the application and go, okay, I see a 2.9 overall GPA. There's no way I'm going to let you into medical school. And so the student is going, well, I need to keep taking classes. I need more classes. I need an SMP. I need to do this. I need to do that. Versus being able to look at the application, which medical schools can, and see, okay, freshman year sucks, sophomore year sucks, junior year sucks, senior year sucks. Look at this postbac, though. This postbac is awesome. Again, we don't know how many credits the postbac is. If it's 5 credits versus 10 credits versus 40 credits, we don't know where we're at in that process. Again, we need more information. But if you are showing consistent good grades in your postbac, then why think about doing an SMP? You've already shown that you can handle courses. Yeah, maybe your undergrad sucked, but that's because that was 30 plus years ago and you were a different person. And now you want to go to medical school and you have this goal in mind and this is what you want. So as you are going through this process, the goal isn't to think about what does my final GPA say. The goal is to look at that trend and really understand the story that trend will tell medical schools. If you can consistently show medical schools that your grades are good, and getting some B's is not a bad thing. I was cracking up when it said I got some W's, right? W's are nothing. They don't matter. Just because you have W's on your transcript doesn't mean anything. Now, if there's a story that I can tell from your W's of showing consistently withdrawing from types of courses and going, okay, I'm going to take Physics 1, withdrawal, Physics 1, withdrawal, Physics 2, or Physics 1, community college, pass, got an A, Physics 2, withdrawal, Physics 2, withdrawal, Physics 2 at community college, oh, I got an A, right? That tells a story that is much more than just having some W's. If you have some withdrawals in your application, oh well, right? It is what it is. If they don't show any sort of consistent pattern of you avoiding classes, there's nothing to worry about. Your trend is all that matters. Will some schools look at your application and go, nope, too old? Of course. Of course. It's naive to think that some schools won't do that. Are there plenty of schools out there who will look at your application and look at you as a student and go, yep, this is awesome. This student has proven that they can handle this. This student has proven that this is what they want to do. We don't care how old they are. They're going to add a lot of experience to our class. We want them here. Done. Yeah. To delay your application even more at this point, putting yourself through all of this classwork and healthcare experience, etc., at this point is not worth it. Keep pushing forward, assuming you can still get some A's, right? You still want those A's, but the B's aren't an issue. Now, these, quote, some other issues, if you need to delay your application, then delay. That's not a question that we can answer. If you have, quote, some other issues, then delay, right? It's not an issue. Do what you need to do. But from a academic standpoint, the B's aren't going to hurt you, right? As long as you have a majority of A's, that's great. But again, without knowing the full picture, what does that overall GPA look like? It's impossible to answer this question. Do you need to start worrying about an SMP? Nope. Do you need to worry about medical schools who will reject you? Nope. Because some will. Right? They reject lots of students, no matter what age. And there will be some students who will accept you. There's some medical schools who will accept you. So keep pushing forward if this is what you want. If you need to take a break because you have issues going on, take a break. If you are thinking about taking a break because you got a B, I wouldn't. Right? Keep pushing forward. Get those A's as much as you can. Prove that you can do this and keep moving forward. All right. Hopefully that was helpful. Great question on the non-traditional pre-med forum over at premedforums.com. If you have a question, go over there, register for an account, and ask for some help. And an awesome community will await you there. I hope you have a great week. We'll see you next time here on the Old Pre-Meds podcast.